Good morning, everybody. Happy Monday. Hopefully your weekend was pretty good. And as you're preparing to get things up and running, we're going to walk you through how things are going for the morning drive. Now, we are watching a couple of areas of Dodge where we've had some slowdowns that have shown up. Let me show you the slowdowns first here on the map, and then we'll check in on some Nebraska DOT cameras and show you the video of what's going on. Here's what we have approaching 680, and you can see some of those delays that are showing up as you're going eastbound with a crash that is in this area. So you've got the speeds dropping down. If you're in this area, down around 25 to 30 miles per hour, going eastbound right before you get to that 680 interchange. And then we zoom out a little bit tighter, you can see those delays stretch almost to 1/32. So, all right, let me show you now what things look like on the Nebraska DOT camera. And the first thing you'll notice is, yes, the shot is very out of focus. We unfortunately don't have control of those shots, but you can see there from the cursor, getting an assist here from the newsroom. That's where you got our crash there in one of the center lanes. So you're going to need to stay right as you head through this stretch. Also be ready for it to be slow. Again, it is quite delayed with those stretching back to about 132nd. So this is again what it looks like as you're looking at those delays. We mentioned the slowdowns that are in place as you're approaching that area at 680 or so. That's where you have that crash. Let me put that crash icon on the screen for you, just to make that a little more apparent. It's right where we see that orange and green meet. So right about there is where we have our crash. And then as we look through the area, this is what we have for a different view. And this is a little bit closer to 1/32nd as you're starting to experience those backups heading eastbound. You can see in the far lanes there, that's heading eastbound, how things are slowing down with that crash that's in place right before 680. So again, that's in the center lanes. You want to make sure you're staying to the right with that one and being ready for slow travel. Let me go back to the map view. And you can see those delays are building. That's not a surprise. Back past 1/32nd now, and I do expect that we'll likely see that continue to get a little bit greater with those delays. This is how things tend to go with these crashes. So you may want to start thinking about an alternate route as you are preparing to head into this area. All right, it looks like we've got a better shot at that again. So let me pull that up here. So this is your wider view, and you can see the crash there right about in this area right here. You can see how that light is just stationary. That's where we have our crash there over on the left side. So you need to stay right as you head through there, and that's adjusting the shot for us so you get a little bit of a closer view. Let me switch to the little arrow pointer here. So right there is where our crash is. And you can see that you have to stay over to the right to get around that on the elevated expressway there for Dodge. And you can see how things are really backing up with people trying to merge into those right lanes before you get to that crash. So that's the situation on Dodge. Let me show you some alternate routes and how those are moving. So we zoom out a little bit. Not too bad on Pacific. Again, this is where we have that crash on Dodge on the elevated expressway. I suppose you could do lower Dodge. That is moving in okay shape, but if you're looking at Pacific, you can use that as well. A little slow right near 120th in both directions on Pacific, but otherwise looks good. Blondo also holding up pretty well, with not too much in the way of issues on Blondo at this time. So you do have a couple of zones there where you can go if you don't want to use Dodge. let me zoom in a little tighter and give you the view of the lower Dodge, and you can see how that looks pretty good on the map as well. So you could always just kind of duck down to lower Dodge for that stretch and then go along your way. Let me give you a quick update on what the rest of the metro looks like. Of course, when we're doing these live streams, we're kind of giving you the updates in real time of where we're having issues, and then just the overall picture of the commute. Now, keep in mind, we have school's out of session today. We're in Christmas week, so we don't have that traffic that is on the road. So a lot of our roads are pretty smooth sailing. JFK looks great this morning. You don't really have much in the way of issues on 370. It's mainly about that crash that we have on Dodge, with a lot of our other roads doing pretty well. A little slow on Blair High, eastbound near 680. But with the only real delays showing up on Dodge, let's go right back in on that. And I think we'll show you the DOT camera again and where things stand with this. So you can see emergency crews on the way. We'll just let this run here for a little bit and watch how this plays out. And while that's in play, I will kind of put the cursor pointing at our crash so you can follow along. So again, if you're just joining in, you are looking at a crash on the Dodge Expressway, elevated. Looks like might have another crash that has come in. We'll give you some information on that. 2 lanes blocked. Okay, so we got 2 lanes blocked there. You can see on the left-hand side with that crash. You got to dart all the way over to the right. You can see it's blocking most of the expressway there with that on the left-hand side. You have to stay way to the right. So again, you are looking at that crash on the elevated expressway. This is a little bit before you get to 680 heading eastbound with that crash. And you have only the one lane on the right, it looks like, that is open at this time. So you're going to be looking at quite the delays. Backups that stretch all the way from near that crash back now past 132nd. Oh boy, we're about to 144th with those delays now. So this is going to be a morning where you may consider an alternate route as we continue to build those delays. Pacific looking pretty good. Blondo looking pretty good for an alternate route. This is all, again, due to that crash there on the Dodge Expressway. I would say to use lower Dodge, but now with how those delays are continuing to build, you're going to struggle to get to lower Dodge if you're coming from Elkhorn, say. So that's where I'm talking about some alternate routes. That logo's a little big. Let's try that again. It's right in that stretch. So again, going to encourage you to seek an alternate route on that one. And this crash came in roughly about 20 minutes ago or so. And we're really seeing the impacts of that showing up at this time with traffic really picking up. You are getting some delays there westbound from 680, maybe a little bit of some chain reaction of people seeing that crash and then reacting. Watch for that. And let me show you again what that's looking like with that crash there on the expressway. You can see several lanes there on the left-hand side blocked with only the far right lane still open. And this is where you're looking at your delays coming into play. So as we start to approach 7:50 here, give you a quick update on the overall state of the commute, and then we'll do one more check there of what we've got with our biggest issue there being on Dodge. So as we zoom around the metro, you can see how things are moving pretty good in Sarpy County. A couple minor delays there in Gretna on Highway 6, but nothing major. Highway 370, a little slow near 48th, but again, not a big problem. You've got some delays on Highway 6 as you are making your way between Gretna and Elkhorn. Watch for that to be a busy area, roughly around Center and up toward Dodge. But by far the biggest problem we do have, I do see a little bit of a delay that has just shown up eastbound Center right around 192nd. That has a little bit of a look of what could be a crash. Watch for that area. 192nd and Center. But the biggest problem we do have is this one. This is the crash that we have been talking about here on eastbound Dodge Expressway. This is roughly around right before you get to I-680 with that one. So that's blocking all but the far right lane. Those delays do stretch back past 144th. And here is the view of what that looks like on the Nebraska DOT cameras. You can see that's a busy scene that's still unfolding. Traffic there getting pushed over to the right lanes there in the back of your picture, and delays are heavy as you head through that stretch. So avoiding the expressway, a good idea. Really, with how the delays have built on Dodge, may just be a good idea to pick an alternate route in general. Blondo and Pacific are both moving along in pretty good shape. You could use Maple as well if you would like to. Any of those roads moving much better than what you have on Dodge, where delays have now reached 156th at this point. So that's the latest with the Monday morning commute. I think we'll wrap up this live stream as we'll prep for our next cut-in on First Alert 6 here in just about a few minutes. So we'll keep you posted on there. We'll also have all the latest traffic updates on our traffic blog on firstalert6.com. So tune into that for any updates on this and anything else that develops for the rest of the morning. I hope you have a safe drive as you head out this morning, and just be ready for some issues there on Dodge.